Hi everyone, today we are on level F of VMath. This is module 5, algebraic reasoning, lesson 0. So this is our review number 2. So turn to page 5 to follow along and take notes. Our first review word, associative property of multiplication. So this is what it looks like. So if you have A times, remember the little dot is times, and then in parentheses, B times C, that equals the same thing as if you move the parentheses to around A times B first and then times C. It's the same thing. So if you do this, because remember parentheses come first, so if you multiply those first, it's the same thing as if you multiplied A times B first. It also can look like this. Remember with variables, the letters A next to B, imagine there's a little invisible times sign in there. So that means A times B, then times C equals A times, and then in parentheses, B times C. So here's what it looks like with numbers. In parentheses, 8 times 4, and then times 2 is the same as or equal to 8 times, in parentheses, 4 times 2. Here is the distributive property. If you have parentheses, B plus C in parentheses, and then the A is right next to it, remember that means multiply. So you're doing A times B, so then it looks like this, and then you do A times C, which looks like this because there's that little times sign in there, and then you would add those together. So this is the same thing. This is the same thing as doing A times B plus A times C. So then this says use the associative property to find 6 times 2 times 5 in 2 different ways. So here you go. You have 6 times 2 times 5. And it looks like they forgot a little multiplication sign here. An equal sign. So put an equal sign right here. So 6 times 2 equals 12, and then you do 12 times 5 is 60. But then if we do that again, you can see now the 2 times 5 is in parentheses. So 2 times 5 is 10. So then 6 times 10 is 60. So same thing, just the associative property means you can move those parentheses around. So now this says use the distributive property to find 6 times 7. So we have 6 groups of 7. So what that looks like is we do 6 times 7. So then we do 6 times 5 plus 6 times 2. And that equals, there should be another little equal sign, equals 30 plus, because 6 times 5 is 30, and then 6 times 2 is 12. So then we add those together, 30 plus 12 equals 42. So 6 times 7 equals 42. So now you have 6 groups of 5 plus 2. So here, because when we put it like this, you have 6 groups of 5, and then here's the other 2. So that's the same, 5 plus 2 equals 7. So then you could also do 6 groups of 5, so that would be 6 times 5, plus 6 groups of 2, 6 times 2, so that's 30, plus 12 equals 42. All right, this says find each product. Remember, product is the answer to a multiplication problem. Use the associative property. So I look at this one, I say 4 times 3 times 3. Well, I'm just going to put the parentheses around there. So then I'm going to do 4 times, and then in parentheses, 3 times 3 is 9. Because remember, we have to do this first before we finish the problem. 4 times 9 is 36. And here, I'm going to put these in parentheses, so let's do that first. 3 times 2 is 6. 6 times 9 equals 54. Okay, now it says find each product. Use the distributive property. So notice this is 8 groups of 9. But over here, they made these groups of 5 and these groups of 4 because remember, 5 plus 4 is 9. So basically what they're doing is they're doing 8 times 5 plus 4. So then if we do the distributive property, we're going to go 8 times 5 first. So we would do 8 times 5 plus then 8 times 4. 8 times 4. So we have to do what's in parentheses first, and then we will add them. So 8 times 5 is 40, plus 8 times 4 is 32. So 40 plus 32 equals 72. So 8 times 9 equals 72. Here we have 7 groups of 12. So we're going to do 7 times, and then it looks like they broke it down into 10 plus 2. 10 plus 2 equals 12. So now let's use distributive. We're going to distribute 7 times 10. First, we do 7 times 10 in parentheses. And then after you do 7 times 10, you would add, and then we would do 7 times 2. 7 times 2. So you'd write it out like that. So then you do 7 times 10 is 70, plus 7 times 2 is 14. So now you would add those together and you get 84. So 7 times 12 equals 84. All right, you should have all those notes completed. You don't need to do any other work on your own. Just show your teacher page 5, and hope if you have any questions, make sure to get that cleared up now. Thank you.